Hey Noe, it's nice to see you, and I like your hat.
Thanks! I like your hat too. Why don't you tell us about this project you put together? This is really cool.
Sure, I saw this kid on the subway on my way to work one day who was wearing this baseball hat, and it had these like white letters on it. It looked like they were made out of plastic. And of course, you know me, the first thing I thought was we can make that. And I thought out of some 3D printing filament like Ninja Flex or other flexible thing. And I asked you if we could do it.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, that's a really good opportunity to use the text tool in 123D. I haven't used it too much, and so I took a look at using it. It's pretty straightforward to use it. And the really hard part for this project was really making the sew tabs. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the sew tabs for this thing.
Yeah, I thought when I saw this kid's hat on the train that the letters were glued on, and I thought it would be fun to use sewing to attach 3D printed letters to the hat so that you could change it out and not have to use like nasty chemicals, plus you get some cool sewing experience. So the important part about the sew tabs is that they don't stick out off of the letters. They're actually part of the sidewall, the vertical sidewall of the letter, recessed in. And that lets you do things with contrasting colors so that your hat is one color and your letters are another color, and you get a nice crisp line all the way around. And so I sketched it up and you modeled it in CAD.
Yeah, and it was pretty straightforward to put together. And so if you're wanting to put yours together, you definitely want to experiment with how many sew tabs and where, because I ended up making extra sew tabs that I didn't need, like in the center here, but it's actually okay. It's better to have more than fewer. How did you attach it to the hat? It's a little hard to get the needle in, so you have this really cool technique. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I like to work smarter, not harder, and after stabbing myself a bunch of times trying to sew from the inside of the hat out, it's difficult to hold on to the 3D object and then sew another 3D object onto it. So you can use pins to hold it in steady, but you can also take one piece of thread and put a needle on each end, and then take those two needles and put them each through the holes in the sew tab, which when you pull it into the inside of the hat, then you have two tails on the inside and a loop on the outside that catches the sew tab, and you don't have to play a guessing game of where to pierce through the hat to get the position right. It is a lot of like threading the needle over and over again, but it's good practice if you're new to sewing. That's one of the things I like about this project, is that it's pretty easy for beginners in modeling, because the text tool is pretty easy to use. It's pretty easy for sewing also, so it's a generally really great beginner project.
And it doesn't have to be a hat. It could be maybe a book bag or a shirt or pants or something else. So it's really up to you guys on what you want to do with it. And it doesn't actually have to be Ninja Flex. You could also use PLA material, for example. Becky, I think you tried
I did.
an experiment with that.
I took some glow fill, which is that glow in the dark PLA, and all I did was heat it up in a pan of water. I just put the water on the stove, let it boil, took it off the boil, and put the plastic in it for just a few seconds, and then I was able to form it around the hat to just get that general curve, and then sewed on just like the other ones. I did have to pierce out the holes in the sew tab with my rotary tool to get good clearance to get the needle through.
Okay, so a little bit more work, but definitely really cool that it goes in the dark.
Yeah, that's cool. I also tried with Semi-Flex. So this project works great with either Ninja Flex Classic or Semi-Flex, its slightly less flexible cousin. And depending on the thickness of the letters, you can get away with a lot.
Yeah, I also printed this one in Semi-Flex, mainly because it has better detail. It's going to work better on your printer. It has less retraction, oozy problems, so that's really nice. So now that it's printed in Ninja Flex, how about adding electronics to it, making it glowy?
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody asks me, right? It's pretty common. And I think that's a good place to take this project next. Maybe we'll do that if enough people request it as an upgrade. I think it could be easy to put the electronics behind the Ninja Flex. The white color diffuses LED light really nicely, and so you could hook it up with like some NeoPixel strip and a Gemma, maybe make it sound reactive like our previous project. So I think that our viewers at home could definitely take that leap and put electronics, and we'd love to see them. Noe, where can people show off their creations?
Yeah, you can show off at our show and tell show that's on every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Google+. Oh yeah.
And if you're not already, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We do new wearable electronics and 3D printing projects every week. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Noe. Bye.
Bye.